All right, we live. Shalom out there. Shalom. Bear with us. All right, Shalom. We're brothers from Great Millstone, Charlotte, back at you with another live lesson through the Holy Spirit, the Rakak Dash. All right, and before we get started, we want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakak Dash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught us his truth. Double salutations to all you Akim out the labor in the house of David, the elect, that's pushing his word with all truth, righteousness, and sincerity. Shalom to you, brothers, and shalom to the elect.
Shalom.
Back at you with another live lesson, news and prophecy. Keep a watchful eye on this guy. All right. So let's get right into it.
I must admit to being somewhat, frankly, naive about this. In the circles that I move, I see almost no anti-Semitism. And there's this old joke, I've got like this one Jewish friend. No, I have like 2/3 of my friends are Jewish. Okay. Twice as many Jewish friends as non-Jewish friends. I'm like Jewish by association. I'm aspirationally Jewish. So I don't, I was like, what are people talking about with this anti-Semitism? Because I never hear it when at dinner conversations. It's like an absurdity, at least in my friend circles. But when, looking at the pro-Hamas rallies in vast numbers that took place in almost every major city in the West, blew my mind. And including on the elite college campuses that are supposed to be, if you're an elite college campus, you're supposed to be enlightened. You're not supposed to be fostering hate.
All right. So getting right into this thing, man. All right. And we told you, let's pull this up. All right. Like we said in this lesson, we're going to go through, man, and keep a watchful eye on this guy, man. All right. And I did this lesson was about a couple months ago, about a month ago. And, the spirit was on me to kind of question, like, what's really going on with this guy, man. He's been pushed. He's first and foremost, he's the face of Neuralink behind that chip. There was a bunch of news articles saying that he was really going to be the guy that was going to be in the power seat, and here it is, you see this Time magazine article with him on the front as if he's the president. All right. So this is highly spiritual, and the main thing that I was thinking about is that this guy, he's a small header. All right. He's a 48er, man. And really the so-called American people have been bamboozled, because here it is, they got a small hat in the office. He's the guy that's really going to be pulling the strings, so to speak. And this is what we want to, get into dealing with the U.S. AID and different things that are being scrapped. All right. There's a lot of controversy that's going on within the government policies and things like that. So, we kind of see, through the spirit, we see where this thing is getting ready to head to, man. All right. It's getting ready to head to a complete disaster, man. I tell you, you can jump in and speak,
Let me just pull this right quick in the GNT.
Yeah, you got it.
Because like you said, we're about to enter into that time of disaster, right? And that's what we see was being, set up with this administration.
Yep.
Is pretty much the dismantling of this existing system, right? Because we know that the goal of the elites is to establish their NWO, right? So there has to be chaos.
Yep.
Right. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 9. And may I start at 1?
You got it.
2nd Ezra 9:1 in the GNT, it says, he answered, consider all these things very carefully when you see that some of the signs I have told you about have appeared, right? And these signs, right, are the tokens, the prophecies that the Lord had foretold us, right, through the prophets of old, through the Holy Spirit, right? They're being played out in real time.
Mm-hmm.
You will know that the time has come when the Most High will bring judgment on the world he has created. There will be earthquakes, national rebellions, international intrigues, unstable leaders and confused rulers. When you see these things happening, you will know that they are what the Most High has spoken about since the beginning of creation.
Yep.
Right. And that's what we see that's happening. Right. We're seeing the national rebellions. We're seeing the unstable leaders, right? The confused rulers, right? And this is playing into that hand, right?
Yep.
This administration, this puppet leader that has been set up in this current administration, right? The leaders, nobody knows who's really ruling, right? That's why you have, this article like the elder has posted up here, because clearly it doesn't look like the person that's at the forefront is who's really there, right? It looks like there's another person at play.
Right, and there's a bigger purpose for this Elon Musk guy. And
Right.
we've been saying this the whole time. As hard as they've been pushing him, he's supposed to be like one of the richest, tech guys on the planet or some shit like that. And like I did in the previous lesson I did a month ago, going back. All right, the thing that how they were getting people, they were saying, okay, he's from South Africa. All right, so when you would hear that, you wouldn't really think much of it. But then when I went into the lesson, when you go into South Africa, it said that the most prominent, JOOs come out of that area, man. The richest and most prominent small hats come from that area. So this guy Elon Musk, he's a small hat, man. And they got him right in there. They got him right in the office. All right, and they're getting ready to use him for a higher purpose, man.
If I may add to Zaquan, as I read in 2nd Ezra 9 and verse 3 in the GNT, when it talks about the international intrigues, when you look up that word intrigue, it means a secret or underhand scheme, a plot, right? And that's what we're seeing. That there is literally a plot, a scheme that's taking place before the eyes of the masses of the people.
Yeah.
Right. This underhand scheme to pretty much eradicate this existing order so that they have the justification and reason to set up their NWO. That's what they're doing in real time. Exactly. And this guy is at the helm of that.
Exactly. What are they subliminally trying to tell you by putting this guy on the forefront of Time magazine, sitting in the president's seat? You see what I'm saying? This was intentional. Right. So what are they saying? You see what I'm saying? You got it.
God. You want me to keep reading in that 2nd Ezra?
Oh, that was it?
Yeah, that was it.
Okay, Khan. I got the you want me to play the clip with the Asian dude?
Khan.
Yeah, we'll get into that. All right. And we're just going in the spirit, man. Like the point of this lesson, News and Prophecy, is to keep a watchful eye on this Elon Musk character, man. And what he's doing right now.
Hi, welcome to the Department of Government Efficiency. We were looking over last year's budget and we found some anomalies that we wanted to address. Okay, if you're talking about the military budget, if you want a safe country, that's how much we... Oh, we didn't even start looking at that yet. Get ready for that. No, we were looking at this list here. We wanted to start with the National Pillow Fluffing Initiative. I mean, don't you want your pillow to be fluffy? Not when you're spending over $1 million of taxpayer money. We're cutting that. Also, the Bureau of Elevator Music Standards. Explain yourself. Forgive me if we're trying to set the vibe, bro. $800,000 a year. The National Velcro Noise Study. What's the problem here? You don't have to spend $1 million a year to know that Velcro noise is annoying. Now, the Program of Ice Cube Uniformity and the American Cloud Watching Fund. Okay, that one's a problem, but I'm kind of OCD and I like it when my ice cubes are all the same size and shape, Yeah, we all do, but that doesn't mean you spend $1 million. Now, the Federal Kazoo Orchestra Grant. It's amazing what they could do with those things, honestly. The Federal Bureau of Traffic Cone Counting, $256,343. You're welcome. Now, that's what I call $800,000 well spent.
So basically, with this Doge entity where Musk is at the helm, right? The Doge standing for Department of Government Efficiency. It's pretty much set up by Trump's administration to go through and scour through the government spending, the transactions and things of that nature, right? Mm-hmm. So he has been given a great deal of insight to look into these matters, right? But it's for an intent, it's for a purpose, mm-hmm. right? Because a lot of these people, that are in these positions that set up these programs, they use these things for money laundering, right? But as me and the elder were speaking beforehand, it's like Trump, this is not his first time being in the seat of presidency. This is not his first administration. He
Right.
had to have known of these things in his first administration, but he allowed these things to slide because this is the time and season where things are preparing to meet, a clash, so to
Yeah.
speak.
Mm-hmm.
Now is the time where these programs and things could be brought to the forefront to bring about chaos, to bring about distrust in the government, to bring about sedition. And these are the things that the scriptures prophesy of to take place in the last days. And we're seeing the stage be set.
Exactly. And remember, they got to make Trump look like the hero. You
Yep.
know, he's coming. He's been brought in to undo all the bullshit that the Biden regime has put in place. So it's all bullshit, man. All right.
Right.
And I just want to read this real quick, unless you have something.
Kind of, if I may, right quick for you, Zaquan.
Yep.
This is Luke 12:2. It says, "For there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed,
Mm-hmm.
neither hid that shall not be known."
It's all coming out, man. Everything is being exposed. The system, the government, these Edomites, it's all being exposed. It's all being put out there on Front Street, man. All right. And once again, making the point, what role does this guy really have? How much power does this guy really have? You see, and the world is about to find that out. They didn't see, this wasn't just no accident. He wasn't put in this on this picture for no reason, right? But going back to this read, right?
Just a little bit more here, Zaquan.
Oh, Salaki, you got it.
Verse 3, "Therefore, whatsoever ye have spoken in darkness shall be heard in the light, and that which ye have spoken in the ear in closets shall be proclaimed upon the housetops."
Got it.
God. So literally, like you guys said, Zaquan, everything is being revealed, right? Everything that this devil has done in secrecy, which is his power, his ability to deceive the nations through his subtlety, his craftiness, his lies, his sorcery, all of that is being done away with. That veil is being lifted. And now we're seeing the inner workings of this man's system. Here it is. You have a tax bracket that sets most Americans at 22%, between the median income. But then you jump to the next tax bracket in the six figures, it just goes up 2%. So the majority of Americans have been suffering under the hands of Esau, Edom, this unfit ruler, for far too long. And now it's coming to the forefront what this man is actually doing with your tax dollars. Bullshit, tricking off.
Bullshit. Wasteful.
Pillow fluffing.
Right. Wasteful spending, This shit is crazy, man. But it's all coming out. Right? Let's read a little bit. And I got a video to add into that US aid or the USAID. Right. So here it says the purge it is mass carnage as Trump and Musk ruthlessly gut corrupt government agency after corrupt government agency. Right. So it says, let's read a little bit. It says the largest and most bloated bureaucracy in the history of the world has been thrown into a state of complete and utter chaos. It says, I have no idea how all of this is going to end, but it's sure entertaining to watch. It says President Trump is firing people left and right. Elon Musk is storming around Washington, D.C. like a bull in a china shop. I think that the words shock and awe don't even begin to describe what we are witnessing. Nobody has ever dared to go into these ultra powerful government agencies and start turning the tables over, right? And see, this is all just a big show, man, right? It says, when I decided to write this article, blah, blah, blah. Let me jump down. So it says, if you want to understand, it says the U.S. Treasury, if you want to understand what's really going on in any organization, you need to follow the flow of money. Mm-hmm. It says, so Elon Musk has been wanting access to the U.S. Treasury's payment system, right? And U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Benson granted him that access on Friday. It says Treasury Secretary Scott Benson gave representatives of the so-called Department of Government Efficiency full access to the federal payment system late on Friday. You see that? So as soon as I see these words about the payment system and all of that, I'm automatically thinking about the chip, man.
God.
You know? It said, you gonna say something? Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I wanted to add because, pretty much what they're going to do, or what's a big point when it talks about that powerful tool, as you read down in the article, the team is lending a powerful tool. Really, the discussion that's being had right now is to pretty much regulate all of this reckless spending via the blockchain.
Mm-hmm.
Because the blockchain, this way of tracking payments on a blockchain avoids any type of mismanagement of funds, because everything is accounted and tracked for.
Yep.
And as me and the elder had went into the lesson earlier this week, with that video of Pippa Milgren, this is the system that we're stepping into. Blockchain technology,
yes.
Biometrics. This all ties into that fourth industrial revolution. We're seeing this government overhaul take place before us because Esau Edom has allowed this chaos to reign for so long, to where when he starts to put all these things on the forefront, it seems justified. It seems damn near needed.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So I get you. It says, according to 3 people familiar with the change, handling Elon Musk and the team he is leading, a powerful tool to monitor and potentially limit government spending.
That's blockchain.
Mm-hmm.
That's a discussion. They're wanting to introduce this blockchain technology because the government has had reckless spending that cannot go accounted for, billions, trillions of dollars that nobody knows what's happening to this money.
Exactly. And we'll get into this too, just to add on to what you said. It says this is where the big money fraud is happening. DOGE dives into Medicare payment malarkey. We'll come back to that in a minute, but I want to touch on that U.S. aid real quick too. Is there any more I want to read out of here before we get it? Let's read a couple more. So it says the new authority follows a standoff this week with top Treasury official who had resisted allowing Mr. Musk's lieutenants into the department's payment system, which sends out money on behalf of the entire federal government. The official, a career civil servant named David Librick, was put on leave and then suddenly retired on Friday after this dispute, according to people familiar with his exit. It says, let's see. Jumping down here, it says every single year, more than $6 trillion is dispersed through the U.S. Treasury payment system. The sensitive systems run by the Bureau of Fiscal Service control the flow of more than $6 trillion annually. Tens of millions of people across the country rely on the systems. They are responsible for paying Social Security, Medicare benefits, salaries for federal personnel, payments to government contractors and grant recipients, tax refunds, among tens of thousands of other functions. See? And Musk pretty much has full control of this, right? It says typically only a small group of career employees control the payment systems, and former officials have said it is extremely unusual for anyone connected to political appointees to access them. See? This is heavy, man. And I'll finish it out. It says, in a typical year, over 1 billion payments are made by the U.S. Treasury, and not a single one was ever being denied. Hopefully, Musk and his team will be able to set up a system. That will filter out fraud, theft, and corruption. If they are able to do so, I imagine that the savings will be substantial. See? Man. So you know where this is headed, right?
All right.
You got a scripture out?
Khan, if I may.
Yup.
This is straight to the point. Psalms chapter 55 and verse 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. You know? So when you understand the MO of this system, this hegemony, it's not to pretty much quote unquote free the people, right? To liberate the masses of the people, which is what, you know, a lot of these Edomite Christians, right? Pro-American Edomites and different people think is taking place with this government overhaul. No. This is to put you into bondage further, to put you into a digital enslavement. When they talk about these new systems to regulate these different entities, it's not to free you, it's to further your bondage. This overhaul is completely shifting the people into the NWO.
This small hat has the power, man.
Khan.
And I want to read this quick paragraph here, and then we'll play that video clip. But it says, the standoff at 1300 Pennsylvania Avenue was not much of a spectacle. On the first day of February, a handful of men working for Elon Musk had come to the U.S. Agency for International Development, USAID, a few blocks from the White House, demanding full access to its headquarters. The agency staff refused. No guns were drawn, no punches thrown, nobody involved the police. But in these early days of the Trump administration, perhaps no other scene revealed more clearly the forces reshaping America's government. One side stood on an institution with a 64-year history of a $35 billion budget and a mission enshrined in federal law. On the other stood Musk's political wrecking crew. They identified themselves as members of the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, a collection of temporary staffers with no charter, no website, no clear legal authority. See that?
Hey, you know what's heavy, Zaquan?
What's up?
I just looked up Doge in the etymon. When you look it up, it goes into leader. You know, because that's his whole ploy right there. You know, because the Doge coin, right? You have the Doge label that now he's running with for the Department of Government Efficiency, right? Because he's really the one that's leading this charge. You know, he's the one that's really at the helm of it. You know, at the forefront of these different changes that are taking place. That's who you hear about in the media. That's who you hear about with these different policies and mandates that are coming about. He's associated to a lot of these things, quote unquote, for the betterment of society, to rectify the issues and problems that happen. But Esau, you are the one that has caused these problems to come to fruition. You were with these problems coming to fruition. You were privy to this, but now it's just the time and season that the Lord has placed on these devils to come down.
Exactly.
Because they know they have a short time. They are going in rapid succession, day after day, unwinding this entire order.
Exactly.
So that they can unveil a new one.
Yep. And this is why we said keep a watchful eye on this guy. Right? Finishing it out. It says they identified themselves as members of the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, a collection of temporary staffers with no charter, no website, and no clear legal authority. Its power derives from Musk, the wealthiest person on the planet, all right, who happens to be a small hat, who has been deputized to dismantle vast swaths of federal bureaucracy, slashing budgets, gutting the civil service, and stripping independent agencies of the ability to impede the president's objectives. There you go, man. Let's play this clip.
May I get a quick precept for you, Zaquan?
You got it.
This is Micah chapter 6 and 12. It says, "For the rich men thereof are full of violence, and the inhabitants thereof have spoken lies, and their tongue is deceitful in their mouths."
Exactly. And all these things that are being presented to the people are being presented as a way of being beneficial for Americans. But little do they know they're being bottlenecked into oppression, man. All right. That's why I did the lesson the other day. Welcome to the fourth industrial revolution. All right. And these tech guys, starting with Elon Musk, all right, are in the forefront of this thing, man. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Headquarters of the U.S. Agency for International Development, or USAID, was closed to personnel on Monday, sending shockwaves around the world.
USAID, run by radical lunatics, and we're getting them out.
The closure came after Elon Musk moved to exert control over the foreign aid organization. And now Secretary of State Marco Rubio is claiming to be in charge.
I'm the acting director of USAID. I've delegated that authority to someone, but I stay in touch with him.
But some lawmakers say that change isn't legal because the independent organization is codified into law. And many worry that the move could weaken America's influence in the world. So here's where things stand. USAID is a 10,000-person, $40 billion agency that carries out foreign aid programs around the world. From displacement sites in Africa to humanitarian camps in Syria to towns fighting Russian influence across Eastern Europe. President John F. Kennedy created the agency when he signed an executive order in 1961. USAID's independent status was codified in 1998 legislation and was reaffirmed by Congress last year. Now Musk, who Trump tapped to lead DOGE, the so-called Department of Government Efficiency, says the agency has got to go.
And USAID is a bowl of worms.
Mm-hmm.
There is no apple. And when there is no apple, you've just got to basically get rid of the whole thing.
He argues that it's funding radical left causes that are anti-American and that Trump is on board with the changes.
I went over it with him in detail, and he agreed with that we should shut it down.
So what is the plan? The administration appears to have tried to fold USAID into the State Department.
It is an entity that spends taxpayer dollars, and it needs to spend it, as the statute says, in alignment with the policy directives that they get from the Secretary of State, the National Security Council, and the President.
Democratic lawmakers say that move would require an act of Congress, something Trump himself seemed unsure of.
Will it take an act of Congress to do away with USAID, or do you believe you have?
I don't know. I don't think so. Not when it comes to fraud. If there's fraud, these people are lunatics.
Critics of the change also argue that the State Department, which deals in policy, would not be an ideal overseer of an organization that specializes in humanitarian aid and relief efforts. Democratic Senator Brian Schatz of Hawaii said he would place a blanket hold on all of Trump's State Department nominees until the attack on USAID is over. While political and legal challenges mount, the changes to USAID have already stunned the international community.
The only thing he thinks about is the money they put in there, or not the benefits that accrues and the goodwill that accrues to America through that little thing. The world is in trouble.
While cuts could save billions of dollars, some former officials...
Yeah, some.
No, I was going to make a point. He said that the world is in trouble, right? Because that's how you know this is the one that controls the world, right? Esau, Edom, his hegemony is the one that is functioning the world. There's going to be international turmoil that's going to start picking up more and more as these programs get dismantled, because as they're discussing, you know, there is part of this aid that does benefit different parts of the world, you know, throughout the different things. There is money laundering, but there is benefits to these different people across the world, you know. So this is going to heighten, you know, more problems through the earth.
Shit.
say it could leave fragile countries more vulnerable to the influence of nations like Russia and China. Ukraine is currently one of the biggest recipients of assistance. On X, former Russian President Dmitry Medvedev, a close aide to President Putin, posted, "Smart move by Elon Musk." The news is also raising questions about whether DOGE will follow a similar blueprint to close other agencies.
Elon can't do and won't do anything without our approval, and we'll give him the approval where appropriate. Where not appropriate, we won't.
Do you believe that, right? All right, here's some more. All right, just adding on. You got anything you want to bring out? I'm gonna read this. I'm gonna bring this out too.
I had read that Micah 6, but I was looking over it in the NLT. I just wanted to grab it if I may.
Go ahead.
Micah 6 in 10 in the NLT, it says, "What shall I say about the homes of the wicked, filled with treasures gained by cheating? What about the disgusting practice of measuring out grain with dishonest measures?" And this is what they're doing, right? They're delineating the tax money, in dishonest balances,
Mhm.
right? Using usury, and then they don't even delineate the money appropriately,
Right.
Continuing on, how can I tolerate your merchants who use dishonest scales and weights? The rich among you have become wealthy through extortion and violence.
Boom.
And this is exactly what's being brought to the forefront, with this current discussion this week, with the Deutsche department, right? The extortion that these Americans have faced,
Mhm.
right, along with the violence, that America has perpetrated through the world.
Right.
It says your citizens are so used to lying that their tongues can no longer tell the truth. As is the ruler, so is his people.
Exactly.
We're seeing that everything is. It's like
No, go ahead. Salakia.
No, I was gonna say. I mean, everything is being brought to the forefront, man.
That's why that's why these so-called American people don't trust the government. They don't trust the system, man. That's why people are losing faith in this place. And really, before we read this article, I wanted to play this real quick too, because what Trump is doing, he's setting everybody in place. All of these Edomites are being set in place. I thought this was interesting too. Let me pull this up. All right.
Fox News alert, the Wall Street Journal is reporting the CIA has reportedly just offered a buyout to its entire workforce. Everyone in the agencies telling employees late today they can quit their jobs and receive about 8 months of pay and benefits. It's a part of Trump's push to downsize the federal government. More as we get it.
Right. So with this going on, who you think is going to be put in that position in the CIA and the feds or whatnot, man? They're putting the people that's going to fucking forward this elite agenda, man. You see that? This is why this is going on. They're putting they're putting their key players in place that's going to forward this thing. So when they lock this shit down and this shit gets a full blown draconian, they're going to have the right people in place to carry out those orders, so to speak, man. You see it. Come on, man.
Yep.
When have they ever done anything like this? That's how you know all this that's going on is for a bigger purpose. This is what we're trying to tell y'all, man. This shit is about to get real out here.
That's it.
So going back to oh, you had something out?
No, I was gonna say, that made me think about the Inquisition, or excuse me, not the Inquisition, I misspoke, the persecution, right? The insurrection that's gonna come against the church, right? These people that are gonna be put in this position, they're not gonna really have no opposition to this power structure. They're gonna be for it. They're gonna forward this shit.
Oh yeah.
They're weaning out everybody that's against it, and they're gonna keep the ones that's for it.
Exactly. That's it. So anyway, on this read, it says, this is where the big money fraud is happening. Doge dives into Medicare payment malarkey. Let's read a little bit. All right, because remember, we're reading about how all these governmental programs are being slashed, they're being cut out in the name of saving money, right? It says Elon's Musk representatives of Elon's Musk Department of Government Efficiency, who just obtained security clearances, have been embedded at the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services this week, gaining access to critical payment and contracting systems. See it? According to the Wall Street Journal, citing multiple individuals familiar with the situation, it says the Deutsche representatives have been on site at the agency's offices this week. The people said, and they are looking at systems. They are looking at the system's technology as well as the spending that flows through them, with the focus on pinpointing what they consider fraud or waste. Deutsche representatives are also examining the agency's organizational design and how it is staffed, the people added. All right. And this is what Musk was saying. You know, this is where the money fraud is happening. All right. Let's read a little bit more to take from it. It says the White House and Deutsche officials declined to comment on the matter in last week's Musk Deutsche team has been moving swiftly to gain access across multiple federal agencies, including the Treasury Department and the U.S. Agency for International Development, USAID, and it says to uncover fraud, abuse, and excessive spending. All right, and the rest reads on. And that's pretty much it. That's the point, you know. So you see what's happening here, man. All right, this thing, man, as we told you, it's about to get crazy, man. That's all we can say. And remember, right? Elon Musk is what? The face of Neuralink. Dealing with what? The brain chip, the brain implant, the MOTB, man. All right. So as I said at the beginning of this lesson, hey, man, that chip is right around the corner, man. You know, and that's it, man. You know, you got anything you want to add in there? You know, we just wanted to put this out there just to show you how all of this thing is evolving and where it's headed to, man. You know,
God. I actually had 2 precepts, if I may.
Yeah, bring them out.
Revelations 13 and 11, it says, and I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. And those 2 horns going into this bipartisan system, the Democrats and the Republicans.
Yep.
Right. But it says that it spake as a lamb. Pardon me. He spake as a dragon. Excuse me. Right. Going into the draconian measures. Right.
Mm-hmm.
We see the stage is being set for these laws and legislations to be ushered in. Right. You have one administration come in and fucking tear shit apart. And then you have the other horn coming in, making everything seem like, oh, I could fix all the problems.
Yep.
It's all right. But it's like you're the same. It's the same animal.
They play both sides.
They play both sides. Here it is. Everybody was speaking like I had talked about in a lesson I did earlier this week. Everybody was talking shit against this guy Trump. But as soon as he's the next, the slated president-elect, you know, great choice, great candidate, you know, great guy. You know,
right?
You got this guy, Kill Gates. He's sitting down with the nigga talking about something. You know, I was really impressed with him. It's a bunch of bullshit. It's a WWE SmackDown.
That's all it
is. Nothing more. Right?
Yep.
At the expense of the lives of the people.
And the scriptures say we're not ignorant of Satan's devices, right?
Yep.
You got it.
Con. And then I had this one last. This is Sirach 40. Because, you know, it's beautiful how the Lord has set this up to where it's like rapid succession. Jake is just under complete fire, you know, where Jake is having to address the elephant in the room. Are you going to be complacent and stay here and trust in Egypt? Or are you going to look for your true covering? Because this devil is showing you what he's planning to do is upend all of your comfort in this existing order. This order to come does not have a place for you. You so-called Blacks, Latino, Native Americans, and Hispanics. That's why, as the elder titled the lesson, keeping watchful eye on this guy, because this man is a representative of the elites. He is one of those individuals that is going to be instrumental in ushering in the MOTB.
Exactly.
The Neuralink, the biometric technology. And that is a major offense to your power, man. Are you going to be complacent? Because they have full reign to induct this technology.
Yep.
He is associated with the right people to have this technology ushered in. And this is what the Lord is going to allow them to do. So what should be your mindset? You should be in the mindset of repentance, right? Believing in this gospel, offending less, and coming back to your power so that you may, Lord willing, have the protection, right? Have the spirit to endure and be able to withstand the day of evil.
Mm-hmm. They're about to push
it, right?
No, I was just saying they're about to push this shit, man. Like this thing is close. All right. This chip, this MOTB is literally right around the corner, man. All right, we see it coming from a mile away. You know, you got it, Doc.
Yeah, the brother, Chris Shakur. I may have mispronounced the brother's name. I may have Salaki if I did. He says this is all getting set in place for the next plan, right? And that's very true because like we had, I had sent the leak in the chat, Zaquan, about the that old article from the WEF, right, talking about how there could be a cybersecurity attack in 2025 that will change the entire world.
Yep.
We're seeing increased threats of cybersecurity. We're seeing increased threats to the infrastructure, right? So as Zaquan has said, we're very close, man.
Very close.
This devil is on crunch time. He's looking for everything that he could use to push this technology into the people.
Yeah. Hey, like the lesson I did yesterday, welcome to the fourth industrial revolution. That Edomite Glenn Beck, he was talking to Elon Musk's advisor. He did an interview with him. It's like this, the video was like 4 or 5 months ago, right? And the advisor was saying he was going through the different types of threats that artificial intelligence can impose on this society. And he made mention of what? The infrastructure being attacked, cyber attacks, blackouts. You see them things being hacked. Like these were real threats that's going to come from AI, man. So, man, this shit, but I'm going to keep saying this shit's about to get wild, man. Right? And before you read on, I do want to read this one part of the article I was looking at here real quick, and I'll pass it back to you. But just want to read this real quick. All right, it says this last part right at the top. It says the cause of Musk's crusade remain unclear. But regardless of the reason, by the following morning, an agency that annually distributes tens of billions of dollars across the globe, fighting famine and disease and bringing clean water to millions, had mostly ceased to function. Within a week, nearly all its staff were placed on leave. Its offices around the world shut down. All right. This dude has hella power. All right. And this is a small hat, a 48er. So what do you expect? Right? We're not surprised to find this out. All right. But we're telling you that these American people got bamboozled, man. Right? The small hat and slithered his ass right into the position of power. Ain't that some shit? You know? You got it, bro.
God. This is Sirach 40 and 29. It says, the life of him that dependeth on another man's table is not to be counted for a life. For he polluted himself with other men's meat. But a wise man well nurtured will beware thereof. You know, and this is pretty much, synonymous with 2/3 trust in Esau, right? Being polluted with another man's meat, right? Sitting at this man's table, right? And having to go to him for the one of all things, looking into him as your covering, looking to him as your Lord, your protection, right? It's time to snap up out of that because clearly this man does not have your best intention at heart. We're seeing that perpetual hatred that the scriptures speak about in Ezekiel 35 be made blatantly clear. It's not covert. It's very overt at this point.
So this is it, man. That's pretty much the point. We just wanted to highlight these things for people to see, to show you exactly, like the scriptures say, we're not ignorant of Satan's devices. So we clearly see where it's about to head to, man. All right. This guy's been given full range, man. All right. He's the one that's really calling the shots. Right. That's why I said that Time magazine article is him being on the forefront is highly spiritual. It's like, what are they really trying to say? So the point is, again, keep a watchful eye on this guy, man. All right. He's making big moves right now. That's it, man. That's all. That's pretty much it. You got anything else out?
Nah.
That's it, man. So we'll leave it like that, man. We pray that this quick lesson was edifying to the hopeful elect out there, man. This shit's getting ready to go down, So we'll close it out. by giving all the praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone who taught us his truth. And double salutations to all you Akim out there laboring in the house of David, the elect, is pushing this word with all truth, righteousness, and sincerity. Shalom to you, brothers, and shalom to the elect.
Shalom.
Hey, shalom. The Wadak.